Today I want to talk about how to kind of discover your own authenticity. This is something that I am working towards right now, not really something that I've mastered, but I feel like I like to receive advice from people who are sort of on the same kind of thank you, who are on a similar journey that I am, because it's so easy, I think, when you see somebody who has like mastered something that you're striving towards, and you're like, oh, but like they had this, blah blah blah, like they had that, they had, whatever. And I'm like, I like to hear advice from people who are like going through the same shit that I am, so maybe this will be helpful. That's kind of why I started making these videos in the first place, is because I'm like, I need something that's going to help me kind of figure out who the fuck I am and what it is that I want. And when you put a camera in front of your face and make yourself speak, when there's nobody else around, it's like all you have, you just bounce off of all your own thoughts. So it's like, it's really good for getting to know yourself. Even if you're not somebody who like wants any sort of social media presence, I honestly think like sitting down and just recording yourself can be really helpful, because I found that it's helpful for me, at least. I make videos all the time and I don't post them because I don't think they're postable. Even now, a lot of times when I find that when I go to make these videos, I will fully blank, because if I go into it with the mindset that I'm going to post it and other people could possibly see this, then it's hard to be authentic, because I'm sort of like, sometimes I find myself being kind of like a social chameleon. Like I really just kind of change myself and cater myself towards other people's tastes and opinions and values and things, and I don't like that about myself. And it kind of got to the point for me where it's like, sometimes I don't even know who the fuck I am or what it is that I want, even when I'm alone. Like, even when I'm outside the influence of other people. Like, I've kind of gotten to the point where it's like, sometimes I don't even like myself. Like, I don't even like who I'm pretending to be. Does that make sense? And it's like, if I don't even like pretending to be somebody that I'm not, then I mean, I might as well be myself. But it's like, I feel so lost as to act like who I really am, and I'm just like, where the fuck do I start? Where do I even go? Like, what do I do? Honestly, I think maybe just like leaning in towards the things that you can be authentic with, right? That you are comfortable truly expressing yourself with. For me, I know that that's makeup. So I've been doing my makeup like every day, because I'm like, that is something that I feel comfortable. Like, for me, when I do my makeup, I fully do it for myself, and the way that I do it is because I like the way it looks on me, not because I think that other people will like it. So I think if you can find even just one thing that like you can really lean into, and that you can like practice kind of as often as possible, I honestly find that for me, I feel like it helps me be closer to who I am and discovering the person that I am or aspire to be. And that's the other thing with being authentic, is like, when you're kind of on this journey of self-discovery and you are like trying to figure out who you are, at least for me, I find that oftentimes I just start looking at the person that I want to be and not who I really am. Because if you have to look at who you are right now, you have to look at the good and the bad to have like a well-rounded idea of who you are. And who likes looking at who likes looking at their flaws? Things can get very confusing really easily when it comes to authenticity, because when you think of something, oh, like when I realized that, I feel like there's this part of me that like, I feel like this is who I really am. For example, like when I make these YouTube videos, these videos feel authentic to me, but I feel like I'm putting on a show or something, or almost like I'm acting, even though, because I've just been like somebody else for so long. Also, I haven't made a video in a while, so I am like so incoherent right now. When it comes to being authentic around other people, something that I find really helps me is kind of just thinking before I speak. And when somebody shares an opinion or they ask me for my opinion on something, instead of just automatically agreeing with them like I usually would do, I try to sit there and think for a second, what do I actually think about this, you know? Even if I'm like, maybe I don't want to share my opinion out loud around this person, even just having a sense in my head of what I actually think, I think is going to be helpful, because then you don't get your thoughts confused with other people's. Of course, I think it's important to surround yourself with people who are okay with having like different opinions on things, and people who like don't pressure you into believing everything that they believe, you know, because people who just think that they're like Mr. Right are just not people I want to be around. But for me, I mean, I just find that I do this with like literally everybody, even the people that I'm super close to, and it's very much a flaw that I'm trying to fix. And I think it just comes from a place of wanting to be accepted by everybody, and that's just not really realistic, you know? There are gonna be people out there who don't like you, but I mean, I know that when it comes to like my loved ones and the people that I'm really close with, I know that they do accept me, but still, it's just like, you know, sometimes you just have shit going on in your head and you're just thinking to yourself, like, does anybody even fuck with me? Why am I talking about this? I laugh when I get vulnerable, okay? Authenticity is also really uncomfortable. When I feel like I'm really just letting myself just say whatever, like I am right now, clearly, I feel like a cornball and it's really disgusting, and I'm like, I get like a full body cringe. It's like actually like I kind of repulse myself a little bit. I think it's just like kind of one of the first steps to like being able to accept who you are, is just like allowing yourself to say shit even when you like gross yourself out. When it comes to wanting to understand who you really are, it's like you're probably, unless you've got like an awesome like magic mind, you're probably not just gonna like wake up and just like fully be like, yep, this is exactly who I am. I know who I am, and I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. Like, you might have moments like that sometimes, but it's like, I don't know. I kind of like ebb and flow with it. Sometimes I'm like, yep, like, I'll just be whoever the fuck I am and who gives a fuck. And then other times I'm like, I'm literally, the idea of like one person not liking me, just, it fucks me up so bad. And I'm just like, guys, what the fuck? What the genuine fuck? To be brutally honest, nobody in my real life knows that I even have a YouTube channel, because I don't tell anybody about it and I don't talk to anyone about it. Because I'm so just like free with what I say on here, and I don't really filter myself. I mean, I do in certain ways, because I don't talk about like my private life in like specific ways, but I don't know, I kind of just like let shit, like, I just spew it out, because, and it seems weird, because it's like literally anybody could watch this and say anything. They could do whatever they want with this video, you know. Really right now I'm just looking at myself into a phone, so it feels like I'm just kind of talking into a void. So I guess that's why it's like more comfortable speaking on the internet. If you're at like the total like baseline level of like, I feel like I can only try to be myself when I'm alone, like, just do it, you know. It's worth the effort. If you feel like you're not ready to be who you really are in front of other people, just like fully as yourself, and just not give a fuck what people think, like, that doesn't mean to give up on it while you're in private, right? Like, really do your best, you know. I'm always talking about my goddamn journal. I love journaling, and I'll probably talk about it in every video forever. I journal all the fucking time, because it's like, it's just anything that allows you to be with you and your thoughts is just so valuable and brings you so much closer into like understanding yourself. Another thing that I think is really fun and scary to do is just like let yourself start saying shit around people, and sometimes you'll really regret it. I find that I do. Sometimes I'm like, I'll say something to somebody that I wouldn't normally say. Sometimes I look back and I'm like, damn, I really wish I didn't say that. That's fucking embarrassing. But in the end, I don't regret it, because that just kind of comes like with it, I feel. And it's helpful, you know, like experimenting with who you are and kind of how you show up in the world is really, it can seem very risky, but at the end of the day, it's not really. Like, if you say something that's kind of embarrassing or just like a little bit weird, nobody's really gonna care. The point of life is not just to be accepted by everybody. It's like, you're not gonna find true friends unless you are really yourself. And also, I think you're not gonna find people who are real and authentic unless you are an embodiment of that yourself. And I feel like we hear people talk about this, but honestly, like, and I used to kind of ignore it and I'd be like, oh, whatever, like, everybody around me is just fake, so like I have to be that way too. But it's like, no, like, be the change you want to see in the world, okay? I love a good blanket statement, so nobody come at me. At the end of the day, you probably are your own worst critic. Like, there are maybe certain exceptions where it's like, you know, there are people out there who are really gonna tear you down, but like, I don't know, at least I find for me that nobody is really as critical of me as I am of myself, so chances are nobody's really judging you that hard anyway, and a lot of it's in your head. Especially if you spend a lot of time on the internet, you probably are convinced that like everybody's super judgmental and mean. Nobody really has balls in person. Everybody, like, if people are hating, it's because they feel like, you know, they're doing it behind a screen. I feel like, at least with people who, I'm 17, so people around my age, like, cyberbullying is just all the rage. People aren't really that mean in person. They'll just, like, they might talk shit about you, but people don't really say stuff to your face, and it's like, anything that anybody says about you behind your back is just not your business. Key points. I don't even remember. I don't know what I said. So hopefully something helped you. If not, hopefully you were entertained. My goal, I aspire to be a very entertaining person, because I find myself pretty entertaining. So that's all I have to say. Bye.